So the whole purpose of what is offered here, the whole purpose of this teaching, is to point to the possibility of living the truth of awakened consciousness. Living the truth of awakening in everyday, ordinary lives. Awakening itself is useless if it remains as a perspective of the mind or an intellectual concept, a conceptualization, a way of seeing things that doesn't filter all the way into the human lived experience. Let me say more about that, because this is often the case. Yeah, there is a glimpse of non-dual awareness. There is a glimpse of seeing beyond the veil of self, of seeing beyond the perspective of me, the me self. There is a profound, often, realization of the nature of reality. But very often that remains as a viewpoint. In other words, it becomes hijacked by the mind. It becomes an illumination of the mind, which can result in wisdom, a wisdom of the mind. But there's a whole other part to the fullness of awakening that can easily get missed. Yeah, and we see this not only in many individuals today in the modern world, but also in many traditions, spiritual traditions, where really what is being, not always, but often imparted is a wisdom from the illuminated mind. We need to go further than that, yeah, in the sense of allowing the possibility of that illumination to filter all the way into the lived experience. Otherwise, it is useless. It becomes a spiritual principle. It becomes a spiritual destination. It becomes a kind of badge that the self wears, that they have had this glimpse of awakening or enlightenment. And then there is an inhabiting of the enlightened mind. But there's the whole human being. And in order for it to truly serve a purpose, make a difference, transform something radically, fundamentally, then it has to filter from the mind to the heart, and then even deeper than that, but let's talk about that. What does it mean for awakening, for illumination to filter into the heart? It means that the fortress that's created around feeling must come tumbling down. Yeah? We must feel the full depth and breadth of our human experience. Yeah? I often speak about the heart. Some of you may have heard me say this before. It's always spoken spontaneously, freshly. Yeah, so let's see how it unfolds today. When I speak of the heart, when I speak about feeling the full depth of the human experience, that is not the same as staying in the limited paradigm of victim identity, of poor me. The heart is a receptacle for poor me, but that becomes another fortress, yeah, to feel everything and to feel a victim of that feeling, to feel a victim of that hurt, to resent it, to reject it, to want to get rid of it, to feel, to have a narrative of why did this happen to me, and so on. This can remain in the vessel of the heart, and then we think that we are in touch with our feelings. But what's happening here is that feelings, the direct felt sense, is getting tangled up with the narratives that arise from the victim identity, the poor me, this shouldn't have happened to me. And the poor me can be an angry me, a resentful me. Yeah, it can be many expressions of the poor me. All of that, all of the narratives that are entangled in feelings, in emotions, in the ouch of the heart, all of that is required to be purified by the light of consciousness, the light of illumination, illuminated awareness. What does that mean? That means you feel without the victim identity. You feel the ouch, but there's no, it shouldn't have happened, or it shouldn't have happened to me. This sounds simple, and in some ways it is, but this is very often a cloudy area, a murky area. So we're required to be truly courageous and honest with ourselves in examining what is being held onto here. Because in the end, heart and mind are one. Illuminated mind and illuminated heart are one. They're not two separate entities. They become one. They become the open space of awareness. They become the open space of acceptance. When I say awareness, I'm not just pointing to some place, a mental place, a place from the intellect. I'm not speaking just of a faculty of mind. I'm speaking about the openness, the open space of being in which mind and heart are one. Awareness is allowing. Awareness is acceptance. Awareness is not trying to fix anything, control anything, hold on to anything, or get rid of anything. There is no dichotomy in awareness. There is no division in awareness. It is the light of being. Nothing is hidden, nothing is denied, nothing is excluded in the totality of your human experience. But neither is it polluted by the narratives and identities that arise from the victim self, the poor me self, or any other variation of self. It is without narrative. And in that sense, it is pristine awareness. That open awareness is the same as acceptance, the deepest acceptance of what is here. What is here? It's an ongoing intimacy and love affair with what is. It's the same as love. Awareness is the same as love. Not the love of anything, but simply love. Love is the widest, deepest, all-embracing allowance of what is here. It is, whether it hurts or not. It is, whether you like it or not. It is, whether you feel hurt or not. It simply is. Now, awakeness can actually be lived. That is living awake. Yeah? There is clear seeing in that. Clear seeing of what is. We don't see clearly when we have a narrative that obscures the clarity of seeing. All narratives obscure the clarity of seeing. All narratives of this shouldn't be happening, that shouldn't have happened, this is wrong, this is bad, this is, yeah, all narratives that always have something to do with you, with the self, that is either rejecting or denying or avoiding or running away or hiding or trying to be something or trying to be nobody. All those narratives obscure the clear light of seeing. And living awake, living the truth of awakeness, is living in the clarity of being. That's how love is birthed. Love is not a feeling. Love is not an emotion. Love is openness. Love is being with what is. Another way of saying that is forgiveness. We live in a state of forgiveness. Letting it be. Letting it be as it is. Because it is as it is. We don't have to forgive anyone or anything. It is simply the end of any division in yourself. A division that excludes some aspect of your experience, either past or present. It's all happening now. There's no division between you and the world. You do not need to reject or run away from. You live as the heart of beingness itself. And there is a profound transformation in this. It changes everything. The way you relate. The way you relate to everything. Everything in the world. Yeah, other people, activities, events, circumstances, and everything in your internal world. Thoughts, feelings that continue to arise like the waves on the ocean. Changes the way you relate to all of this. You stop being a victim of your feelings. You stop being a victim of your thoughts. You stop being a victim of other people's feelings and thoughts. This is fundamental, radical. When the victim self dissolves, when the victim self dies into the abyss of being, everything that held up the knot of ego self vanishes. Yeah, this victim self, it holds everything up. It's like the main pin around which everything else is woven. It dissolves everything. You live as the open space of the one heart of being. And you stop being bothered by anything